Starseed from Gaia, the one who loves you, spoke about you today, and their words revealed that your connection is not finished. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation. The Arcturian Council is bringing this to you now because what was said carries a message your heart has been waiting to receive. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to interpret the Arcturian downloads surrounding this connection and recognize the deeper meaning behind their words. But here's the first revelation. They are not speaking about you from indifference. Your presence has reached a place within them they can no longer ignore. You didn't arrive at this message by mistake. This isn't ordinary content, it is a point of reconnection, like this transmission to signal to your star family, I'm ready. Subscribe if your mission is activating and you're aligning with your true frequency. Comment 9999 if your cosmic remembrance is returning, and declare your galactic intention below. You are not here by accident. What they said about you was not meant to create fear. It was meant to interrupt the pattern that has kept you doubting the very signal you came here to carry. There is a part of you that has known for a long time that your life could never be explained by ordinary expectations alone. You have felt it in the moments when a simple conversation carried an unusual charge, when a certain word opened a memory you could not place, when the night sky seemed less like something above you and more like something calling you home. You have felt it when you entered a room and sensed its emotional history before anyone spoke, when a stranger's story touched a place inside you that had no obvious connection to their words, or when a quiet inner nudge proved wiser than the loudest advice around you. These moments may have been brief, almost easy to dismiss, but they were not meaningless. They were small openings in the veil, reminders that your awareness has always been larger than the identity you were taught to perform. But knowing is not the same as allowing yourself to remember. A person can carry a key for years and still be afraid to place it in the lock. A person can stand beside an open door and continue asking whether they are truly permitted to enter. This is where many of you are now. You are not searching for the first sign. You are learning to trust the signs that have already found you. Most starseeds remain disconnected, not because their light is absent, but because their human identity has learned to protect itself from the size of its own awareness. You adapted to environments that did not recognize your sensitivity. You learned to question your perceptions because others called them too intense, too unusual, too imaginative. You became skilled at making your inner world smaller, so that you could remain understandable to people who were not ready to meet you in your full frequency. You learned when to stay quiet, when to laugh at what moved you, when to pretend that you did not notice the tension beneath someone's words. You may even have become the person others relied on for comfort while privately wondering who would ever make room for your own depth. This adaptation was not weakness. It was intelligence operating under pressure. A young soul in an unfamiliar environment often learns to camouflage its radiance. Like a star hidden behind heavy cloud, your light did not vanish simply because it could not be seen. Like a seed beneath winter soil, your potential was not inactive simply because the surface appeared still. You were gathering strength in secret. You were studying the language of the world around you, learning its rules, its dangers, its expectations, and its limitations. Yet the strategy that once protected you can eventually become the very wall that keeps you from being known by your own heart. Over time, the signal became quieter, not because it disappeared, but because layers of fear, disappointment, obligation, and self-abandonment gathered around it. You began interpreting exhaustion as failure. You called your pauses procrastination. You mistook the loneliness of being unrecognized for proof that you did not belong anywhere. You looked outward for permission to begin, while the deepest part of you was waiting for one thing only: your consent to remember. You waited for the perfect relationship, the perfect financial condition, the perfect confirmation, the perfect level of healing. You told yourself that once everything was safe, you would finally listen. But the soul often speaks before the conditions are perfect, not to push you into recklessness, but to teach you that safety can also be built through self-trust. Every time you override your own knowing to preserve someone else's comfort, the signal becomes buried beneath another layer of noise. Every time you say yes while something within you is quietly withdrawing, the body records the contradiction. Every time you abandon a creative impulse because it does not appear practical enough, a small door closes, yet no door is sealed forever. The path back begins with one honest moment in which you admit, I have known this for longer than I have allowed myself to say. Arcturian Wisdom speaks of this as signal distortion. The soul may be transmitting perfectly, yet the receiving field is crowded with inherited beliefs, unresolved emotion, survival habits, and identities built for a world you have already outgrown. This is why some of you feel close to a breakthrough and then suddenly retreat. This is why clarity may arrive at night, only to be replaced by doubt in the morning. This is why you can feel the presence of your path without yet seeing the entire road. It is like standing at the edge of a forest at dawn. You can sense the direction of the trail, hear the movement of life beyond the trees, and feel the air changing, but the full landscape is not yet visible. The distortion does not mean that your inner guidance is unreliable. It means that guidance must pass through the filters of your current emotional state, your history, and your nervous system. Fear can turn a gentle invitation into an emergency. Desire can turn a possibility into a command. Loneliness can make any familiar energy feel like destiny. This is why discernment is sacred. Your awakening is not measured by how many signs you receive, but by how wisely you interpret them. A clear signal does not usually demand that you abandon common sense. It does not require you to surrender your boundaries, your responsibilities, or your ability to pause and reflect. It brings a deeper kind of steadiness, even when the next step is unfamiliar. Your energy body is recalibrating between frequencies. One layer of you is still trying to remain safe inside what is familiar, while another layer is preparing to step into a timeline where your gifts require visibility, discernment, and action. The tension between these layers can feel like confusion, but it is often the pressure created when an older version of you can no longer contain the intelligence moving through your field. You may feel more sensitive to environments that once seemed normal. You may lose interest in conversations that revolve around fear, competition, or judgment. You may need more quiet because your inner system is learning to distinguish true guidance from accumulated noise. This transition can resemble the moment before a great storm breaks. The air feels heavy, the horizon changes color, and everything seems suspended between one atmosphere and another. You are not necessarily falling apart. You may be becoming more honest about what no longer fits. The irritability, fatigue, or restlessness you experience may be invitations to examine your pace, your commitments, and the emotional agreements you have made without realizing it. Not every discomfort is a spiritual emergency. Sometimes the most profound recalibration begins with drinking water, sleeping enough, stepping away from conflict, or admitting that you need support. You are not disconnected from your origin. You are learning how to hold its frequency inside a human life. You are learning how to let the vastness move through ordinary gestures, the way you listen, the way you work, the way you speak to yourself when no one is watching. The stars are not asking you to become less human. They are asking you to become more present within the human experience you chose to enter. This message may have opened a portal, but what lies beyond is even more profound. If you're feeling drawn to integrate what the Arcturian High Council has revealed, the Arcturian Carrier Wave Protocol, 7 guided nights to cross the whisper threshold, is your next step. This easy-to-use app holds energetic technologies passed down for thousands of years, now made available for your awakening, along with special bonus activations. You'll find the link in the first pinned comment, but only briefly. The first shift begins when you decode the distortion. Notice the voices that speak in your mind with certainty, but do not carry peace. The voice that says you are behind. The voice that says your sensitivity is a weakness. The voice that tells you to wait until you are more prepared, more accepted, more financially secure, more healed, or more certain before you move toward what keeps calling you. Notice how these voices often speak in absolutes. They say always, never, impossible, foolish, selfish, unrealistic. They use the language of finality because fear wants to convince you that no other future exists. Listen carefully to the difference between caution and limitation. Caution says, move wisely, gather what you need, protect what is sacred. Limitation says, do not move at all. Discernment says, this may not be the right time or the right way. Fear says, there will never be a right time. One leaves room for wisdom. The other closes every door before you have even approached it. These voices may sound familiar, but familiarity does not make them truth. Many of them were installed through repetition. They came from family patterns, social conditioning, old disappointments, and moments when your openness was not honored. They became energetic static around your soul signal. You do not need to fight them. You only need to recognize them as frequencies you are no longer required to obey. You can thank the part of you that developed them because it was trying to keep you safe, and then gently tell that part that the conditions have changed. When doubt appears, ask yourself, is this my deeper knowing, or is this an old protection pattern? The answer may not arrive as a sentence. It may come as a softening in your chest, a deeper breath, or an immediate sense of expansion. Your body often recognizes alignment before your mind can explain it. You might notice that one choice leaves you feeling spacious, even if it requires courage, while another gives you temporary relief but leaves a residue of heaviness. Do not demand a dramatic revelation. Alignment can be quiet enough to resemble ordinary common sense. The second shift is the awakening of the blueprint. Your memory is not limited to images from the past. Some memories arrive as resonance. You hear a tone, encounter a symbol, meet a person, or enter a place, and something within you responds before thought begins. A landscape may feel strangely familiar. A piece of music may make you emotional without an obvious reason. A phrase in an ancient text may seem to illuminate a question you have carried for years. These experiences can be meaningful without requiring you to create a rigid story around them. This is not a demand to accept every impression without discernment. It is an invitation to become attentive to the language your energy already speaks. Let symbols remain symbols until their meaning becomes clear through time and lived experience. Let a feeling be observed before it becomes a conclusion. The soul is subtle, and subtlety is easily distorted by urgency. You do not have to decide immediately whether an experience came from a past life, a star lineage, a dream, or the creative depths of your own mind. You can simply honor the resonance and ask what wisdom it is inviting you to embody now. Your DNA, in the symbolic and energetic sense, is not merely a record of where you came from. It is also a field of potential, carrying patterns that can become active when your environment, choices, and awareness create the right conditions. You are not broken because you have not accessed everything yet. You are encoded, and activation unfolds through readiness. A seed contains the architecture of a forest, but it does not become a forest in one instant. It responds to light, water, soil, season, and care. In the same way, your deeper capacities emerge through conditions that support stability and truth. That readiness is built through truthful choices. Every time you stop betraying your own perception, a dormant strand of awareness receives permission to come forward. Every time you choose rest instead of performance, honesty instead of approval, and presence instead of fear, you make the field more coherent. The awakening is not only happening during meditation or moments of unusual sensation. It is happening when you live in a way that no longer contradicts what your soul knows. It is happening when you stop calling your boundaries cruel, your needs excessive, or your dreams embarrassing. Do not underestimate the power of consistency. A single candle can illuminate a dark room, but a steady flame changes the way the room is used. One truthful decision may seem small, yet repeated truthful decisions create a new identity. You begin to experience yourself as someone who can be trusted by your own spirit. That is when intuition becomes less like a distant voice and more like a clear river flowing beneath your daily life. The third shift is anchoring your higher self. Expanded awareness is not meant to pull you away from Earth, your body, or your daily responsibilities. The purpose of multidimensional consciousness is not escape. It is integration. It is the ability to hold a wider perspective while remaining present enough to make practical decisions, communicate clearly, care for your body, and complete what is in front of you. The most elevated state is not one in which you float above every difficulty. It is one in which you can meet difficulty without forgetting who you are. Your higher self does not ask you to abandon your humanity. It asks you to stop using your humanity as an excuse to remain divided. The grounded version of your awakening may look simple. It may be a boundary you finally keep, a conversation you no longer postpone, a project you return to, a room you organize, a habit you release, a promise you make to yourself in honor without announcing it to anyone. It may be preparing nourishing food, taking a walk, paying attention to your breathing, or allowing yourself to feel grief without turning it into a permanent identity. These actions may appear ordinary, but they are dimensional anchors. They tell your nervous system that your expanded awareness is safe to inhabit. They bring the higher template into the timeline where your mission can actually take form. Imagine trying to pour an ocean into a vessel that has never been strengthened. The vessel must be reinforced, not because the ocean is dangerous, but because the container must learn to hold greater depth. Your routines, boundaries, and honest relationships are part of that reinforcement. The fourth shift is learning that your frequency is the transmission. You may have spent years trying to explain yourself to people who only understood the version of you that was convenient for them. You may have tried to prove that your path was real by gathering signs, seeking validation, or waiting for someone more awakened to confirm what you already sensed. You may have believed that if you could just find the right words, everyone would understand the depth of your experience. But some people are not rejecting your explanation. They are simply not standing in the same landscape. But your mission does not begin when everyone agrees with you. It begins when your life becomes congruent with the signal you carry. The transmission is not a performance. It is not an identity you wear to appear enlightened. It is the quiet consistency between what you believe, what you say, and what you do when approval is absent. This does not mean you must announce yourself as different or persuade anyone to believe what you believe. It means your presence becomes less divided. Your words match your values. Your choices stop being shaped entirely by the fear of disappointing others. Your energy no longer says yes while your body is saying no. You stop leaking power into arguments that were never designed to produce understanding. You learn that silence can be discernment, and that explaining yourself less does not mean loving others less. When your field becomes coherent, people may feel something around you without knowing how to name it. Some will feel comfort, some will feel challenged, some may move away because your clarity reflects what they have avoided in themselves. You are not responsible for controlling their response. You are responsible for carrying your frequency with humility, precision, and care. A true light does not need to blind anyone. It illuminates what is present and allows each person to choose what they will do with what they see. The fifth shift is trusting the timeline. Many of you have interpreted delay as rejection. You believe that if the path were real, everything would have unfolded sooner. But linear time is not the only measure of movement. Some seasons are building capacity. Some endings are clearing an energetic corridor. Some silences are separating your true desire from the pressure to perform a mission that was never yours. There are roots growing beneath the soil that cannot be measured by the height of the tree. The years when nothing seemed to happen may have been refining your discernment. The relationships that ended may have returned your energy. The detours may have taught you how to recognize what feels impressive, but is not aligned. You were not standing still. You were being brought into a position from which the next movement could be sustained. What you called delay may have been preparation without applause. What you called failure may have been the removal of a structure too small for the person you were becoming. Alignment does not always feel exciting. Sometimes it feels quiet. Sometimes it feels like no longer needing to chase what once consumed you. Sometimes it feels like grief, because you are releasing an identity that helped you survive but cannot accompany you forward. Do not mistake peace for a lack of purpose. The strongest transmissions often arrive without urgency. The river does not panic as it moves toward the sea. It does not need to prove its destination at every bend. The sixth shift is opening the channel through service. Your gifts become clearer when they are used to create more honesty, steadiness, healing, beauty, or freedom in the lives you touch. Service does not mean depletion. It does not mean becoming available to everyone or carrying burdens that belong to others. True service is an exchange in which your energy remains alive. If your giving consistently leaves you resentful, invisible, or empty, you may be confusing sacrifice with sacred contribution. Ask what becomes more possible because you are present. Perhaps people tell you things they have never said before. Perhaps you can see patterns in situations others experience as chaos. Perhaps your creativity translates invisible feeling into words, music, movement, design, or healing presence. Perhaps your greatest gift is the ability to remain compassionate without abandoning discernment. Perhaps you bring peace simply by refusing to participate in unnecessary cruelty. Do not dismiss what comes naturally to you simply because it does not feel dramatic. The gifts most integrated into your field often feel ordinary from the inside. What you call just the way I am may be the very frequency others have been waiting to encounter. The person who knows how to make others feel safe may not realize how rare that is. The person who asks a question no one else thought to ask may be carrying a form of guidance. The person who notices beauty in difficult places may be restoring hope without ever using the word healing. The seventh shift is crossing the whisper threshold. There comes a point when the guidance no longer arrives as a distant impression. It begins to become a relationship with your own deeper intelligence. You notice what repeatedly returns. You recognize which invitations leave you expanded and which ones leave you contracted. You understand that not every sign is an instruction, and not every obstacle is a warning. You begin to read life with patience rather than desperation. The whisper threshold is crossed when you stop demanding certainty before taking the next honest step. Certainty is often a demand made by the fearful mind because it wants to eliminate vulnerability. But no meaningful path offers complete visibility. The lighthouse does not illuminate the entire ocean. It gives enough light for the next safe movement. You do not need to see the entire mission. You need to become faithful to the next frequency that is clear. Make the call. Begin the practice. Leave the pattern. Rest before exhaustion forces you to. Say what is true without decorating it for approval. Let the next piece of your star map reveal itself through movement. Your path will not always appear as a revelation. Sometimes it will appear as repetition. The same idea returning, the same door opening, the same discomfort, asking to be understood, the same quiet desire refusing to disappear. And now, the deeper revelation is ready to reach you. You were never meant to remember everything at once. If your entire galactic awareness had entered your human consciousness before your emotional and physical systems were prepared, it would not have felt like liberation. It could have felt like overwhelm. The forgetting was not evidence that you had been abandoned. It was a protective veil, placed around the most powerful parts of your memory until you developed the capacity to use them without being consumed by them. This is why certain experiences had to happen before certain memories could open. You needed to learn the difference between intensity and truth. You needed to understand that compassion, without boundaries, becomes self-erasure. You needed to discover that being chosen by others is not the same as choosing yourself. You needed to experience enough separation to recognize the unmistakable quality of genuine resonance. You had to become familiar with your own inner weather before you could interpret the winds arriving from beyond the known horizon. The memories that return now may not come as dramatic visions. They may arrive as a deepened understanding of why you're here, a sudden compassion for your younger self, or the recognition that a lifelong pattern has been preparing you to help others move through the same doorway. Let what returns be integrated gradually. Write it down. Sit with it. Test it through the fruits it produces. If it leads you toward greater humility, responsibility, kindness, and clarity, it is serving your evolution. If it leads you toward superiority, panic, isolation, or the need to prove that you are chosen, pause and return to the ground. The one who loves you spoke about you today because your name is active in a field of remembrance. Whether that love is experienced through a person, a soul connection, an unseen presence, or the deepest intelligence within you, the message is the same. You are no longer invisible to the path you came here to walk. Something in the field is responding to your readiness. Something is reflecting back the devotion you have carried through seasons in which you felt forgotten. But do not turn this into another reason to wait for someone else. The love surrounding your journey is not asking you to remain passive while the universe arranges every detail. It is asking you to become available to your own life. Love is not only a signal coming toward you. It is also the courage to stop turning away from yourself. It is the willingness to receive what is healthy instead of chasing what is familiar. It is the strength to let a closed door remain closed when the old pattern tries to convince you that rejection is the only form of connection you deserve. You may have thought the message was about whether someone misses you, chooses you, returns to you, or recognizes your value. Perhaps it is also about that. But at the highest level, the message is larger. It is about the part of you that has been waiting to be loved by your own awareness, the part that kept showing up after disappointment, the part that continued to dream after being told to be realistic, the part that carried a quiet certainty through years when no external evidence supported it, the part of you that still reached for light even when the language of your surroundings encouraged you to settle for dimness. that part of you is not asking for proof anymore. It is asking for partnership. It wants you to walk beside it instead of constantly interrogating it. It wants your mind, body, heart, and spirit to become allies rather than separate voices competing for control. You do not have to become perfect to enter this partnership. You only have to become honest enough to notice where you are still withholding your own consent. Your star family, your higher intelligence, and the deeper architecture of your soul are not here to make you dependent on signs. They are guiding you toward sovereignty. They are reminding you that a true transmission leaves you clearer, kinder, more grounded, and more capable of making your own aligned choices. If a message creates panic, obsession, or the feeling that you must surrender your judgment, step back. Your authentic signal does not need to dominate you. It strengthens your discernment. It gives you room to breathe. It allows you to remain fully human while touching something greater than the human mind can define. Tonight, place one hand over your heart and one over the center of your body. Breathe slowly and say, I release the patterns that distort my signal. I welcome the wisdom my soul is ready to hold. I remember through grounded action, clear discernment, and honest love. Then remain still long enough to notice what changes, not what you imagine should change, but what becomes quieter, warmer, or more truthful within you. Let your breath become a bridge between the unseen and the tangible. Feel the support beneath your body. Notice the room around you. Your awakening does not require you to leave the present moment. The present moment is where the signal becomes real. The next phase may not arrive with thunder. It may arrive as a decision that feels simple. It may arrive as the sudden refusal to continue abandoning your own knowing. It may arrive as a message, an idea, a meeting, or an opportunity that carries no need to force it. Let the signal be clean. Let the path be practical. Let your awakening become visible through the way you live. Let your calendar reflect your priorities. Let your relationships reflect your standards. Let your words carry the peace you claim to seek. You are not waiting for the person who loves you to reveal your worth. You are meeting the version of yourself that their love has been calling forward. You are not waiting for the Arcturian message to make you special. You are remembering that your uniqueness was never a performance. You are not trying to escape this world for another one. You are learning to bring a more conscious frequency into this one. The sacred is not only found in distant constellations or extraordinary experiences. It is found in the way you return to yourself after losing your way, in the way you protect your peace without hardening your heart, and in the way you become a safe place for truth to live. The timeline opens when you do, not because you have forced the universe to obey you, but because your inner and outer lives are no longer pulling in opposite directions. The road becomes visible as you walk it. The signal becomes stronger as you honor it. The memory becomes clearer as you embody its wisdom. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are standing at the threshold with the key already in your hand. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or energy. This isn't content, it's collective alignment. Energy multiplies when intention connects. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation. Share it, and if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow. You're not just watching, you're expanding. This is your space, and we're just getting started.